Welcome to Short Movie Channel. Our movie begins with Maria, a little girl who's just 9 years old. Today is her birthday, and she's surrounded by kids, all happy and excited to celebrate with her. But one girl among them starts bothering Maria and blows out the birthday candles instead of her. This action upsets Maria, who begins yelling at her and then starts hitting her. Not stopping there, Maria pushes the girl's face into the cake. We learn that Maria has a condition, excess electrical activity in her brain, that makes her extremely irritable. No one can deal with her because, when she gets angry, she destroys everything around her. Worse, she might even kill someone during one of her tantrums. On top of that, her physical strength is beyond imagination. After repeated incidents, her parents decide to send her to a psychological rehabilitation facility. But even there, the doctors fail to handle her condition. Eventually, she's handed over to the military, where she is kept restrained at all times. The military starts exploiting her immense strength by involving her in dangerous missions and fights. However, she proves to be too strong, defeating and even killing any officer or opponent she faces. In every operation, she eliminates everyone involved, leaving no one able to stand against her. As her danger increases, Dr. Marcus, the doctor treating her case, decides to create an electric shock device for her. The device is attached to her back, with wires connecting to all her veins, allowing it to send rapid signals to her brain whenever she starts losing her temper. This helps calm her down and prevent her from overreacting. Over time, Maria leaves the military facility, now grown into a beautiful young woman. However, she still wears the device. One day, while standing outside a bar, she sees a man yelling angrily. She imagines herself grabbing him, breaking his leg, and smashing his face. But she quickly snaps out of her thoughts, presses the device, and shocks herself to calm down. She then enters the bar to meet a guy she had been talking to online for a while. It's their first date. When she sees him, she feels nervous and wants to leave, but he tries to calm her down and insists on staying with her. He talks to her, reassuring her that he's there for her, but she remains uneasy, unable to trust his words. Overwhelmed with anxiety, she excuses herself and goes to the bathroom. While in the bathroom, Maria overhears a woman talking on the phone, bragging about cheating on her husband and stealing his money. The conversation enrages Maria. She storms into the stall and beats the woman mercilessly until she kills her. Afterward, she sneaks out of the bar through the back door to avoid being seen. When Maria gets home, she takes off her clothes and notices the electric wires all over her body. She realizes the device is malfunctioning because it didn't stop her from losing control in the bathroom. Exhausted, she lies down and falls asleep. The next day, Maria goes to Dr. Marcus and throws her control device at him, saying that it seems broken. She tells him that she lost her temper and ended up killing a woman. Dr. Marcus takes the device and tries to fix it, but out of fear, he chains her hands to a chair. Maria begins to explain everything she did over the past week. He suggests that entering a relationship might help reduce her stress and anger. Maria listens to his advice but decides to leave. While on the subway, a man bothers her and places his foot near hers. Without hesitation, she slaps him across the face, knocking out some of his teeth, then walks away. Later, she calls Stan to apologize for everything that happened. They go out together again, spending a long time walking and eating. Maria tells him about her love for photography and her dream of buying a camera. Stan opens up and admits that he's liked her since the first time he saw her. He also says he wants to spend the entire day with her. At first, Maria is hesitant, but Stan calms her with a reassuring kiss that helps her completely relax. They go back to his place, and when she removes her clothes, he notices the wires connected to her body and asks about them. She explains everything about her condition. Stan asks her to take off the device, assuring her that he's not afraid of her at all. Maria agrees, removes the device, and they share a special night together. The next morning, Maria wakes up to find Stan sitting beside her. He tells her that he needs to go to an important business meeting with a client named Mr. Moore, one of his most significant clients. He also tells her that he bought her the camera she's always wanted. When Maria looks next to her, she finds the camera and feels incredibly happy. Stan tells her that once he finishes his work, he'll come back so they can spend more time together. Maria, overjoyed, goes to Dr. Marcus to share her happiness. When Marcus sees her, he's shocked to notice she's not wearing the device. He's visibly scared, but Maria reassures him, saying she feels genuinely happy and calm for the first time. She tells him he was right, being in a relationship has helped her feel better. She expresses her intention to continue the relationship before leaving. Maria then takes the camera Stan gave her and starts capturing everything around her, feeling an overwhelming sense of joy. She thinks about how excited she is to show these photos to Stan. That evening, Maria returns home and waits for Stan, but he doesn't show up. Days pass, and there's still no sign of him. She tries calling him repeatedly, but he doesn't answer. Finally, during one of her calls, someone answers, a woman named Amy, who introduces herself as a police investigator. Amy tells Maria that, unfortunately, Stan has been killed and that his belongings are now at the police station. Maria is devastated and asks to see Stan's body, but they refuse. She keeps asking who might have killed him, but they tell her the investigation is ongoing and they'll find the person responsible. Maria attends Stan's memorial service, feeling heartbroken and in disbelief. She returns home, constantly replaying the memories she shared with him, unable to accept that he's truly gone. In the end, Maria goes to Dr. Marcus, overwhelmed with anger and frustration. She tries using her electric shock device to calm herself, but it doesn't work. She tells Dr. Marcus that she will find Stan's killer herself and bring them to justice. Later, Maria goes to the police to ask about the progress of the investigation, but Detective Amy informs her that they haven't made any progress yet. Frustrated, Maria accuses them of not focusing on their work. Using her wit, Maria manages to steal a key to the forensic evidence room from one of the officers. She enters the room, grabs Stan's shirt, and as soon as she smells it, memories of their time together flood back, causing her to break down. However, she quickly regains her composure using a device to stabilize herself. Maria searches through the evidence and finds a key to Stan's apartment. She takes it and heads there. Meanwhile, the police discover what happened, and Officer Marco informs Maria that her actions are putting her in danger. She insists on staying at the apartment to look for clues that might lead her to Stan's killer. Marco tells her that Detective Amy knows she's at the apartment and is on her way there. Sure enough, Amy arrives and confronts Maria, leading to a fight between them. Maria manages to overpower Amy and knock her to the ground. During the scuffle, Maria discovers the address of a client Stan mentioned to her the last time they spoke. She also takes Stan's phone and notices a car key, which she uses to leave. Amy and Marco chase after her in another car. During the chase, Maria uses her skills to outmaneuver them, causing their car to crash into the curb. She continues to her next destination, a phone company, where she asks them to unlock Stan's phone. Initially, they refuse her request, but she insists and uses force, prompting them to bring their best programmer. The programmer successfully unlocks the phone and informs Maria that the last call made from it was to someone named Bino and that the call originated from an abandoned location. Maria takes all the information and heads to the location, discovering it to be a fighting ring. She observes a group of people fighting in the ring and a man sitting in the center watching the action. Thinking he's the one she's looking for, Maria enters the ring, takes on several fighters, and defeats them. Afterward, she demands that the man who was watching the fights accompany her. He agrees and takes her in his car. However, Maria manages to subdue the driver and the bodyguard, forcing the man to reveal what he knows. She takes him to a hidden location and uses a taser to interrogate him about Stan. He reveals that all he knows is that Stan worked under someone named Mr. Wells, who is their boss. Maria obtains Wells' address and decides to confront him. Meanwhile, Detective Amy is seen speaking with Officer Marco at the hospital, where he's recovering from injuries sustained during their car chase with Maria. Amy expresses her suspicion that Maria killed Stan and is doing all of this to cover up her crime. Marco, however, assures her that Maria could never have killed someone she loved. Maria later visits Marco in the hospital to check on him and shares all the information she has uncovered. She assures him that she will avenge Stan soon. Shortly after Maria leaves, Amy returns to Marco's room to retrieve something and is surprised to find Maria there. Amy tries to arrest her, but Maria escapes. The two engage in a chase through the hospital, with Maria managing to evade capture by hiding in the newborn ward. When Amy follows her there, Maria knocks her out and escapes again. Maria then goes to Wells' base, where she encounters two of his associates. Pretending to cooperate, they lead her inside, but someone knocks her unconscious. When she wakes up, she finds herself in an all-white room, tied to a chair. Wells' assistant questions her about why she's there and what she wants. When she refuses to answer, he tells her she'll be released on one condition: that she never comes back again. And indeed, the driver passes by to pick her up and take her, but she hits the driver and gets out in the middle of the road. She immediately heads to Dr. Marcus. When she arrives, she tells him everything that happened to her. He gives her a device that's more advanced than the one she had and tells her that she has to use it all the time. He also advises her to let the police handle everything and stop what she's doing, but she doesn't listen to him. At the same time, Mr. Wells' assistant enters his office and tells him everything that happened. That's when Wells realizes that since she's made it this far, she has to be eliminated. Maria goes back home, but she notices that the door is oddly open. She becomes suspicious and climbs through the window instead of entering through the door. Inside, she finds a trap, a bomb tied to the door, meaning that if she had entered, the apartment would have exploded, and she would have died. She uses her wits to disarm the bomb and takes it with her. She then places a piece of aluminum in the microwave to make it explode, tricking Wells and his men into thinking she's dead. Maria heads out and meets Marco, who tries to convince her to turn herself in to the police. She refuses, telling him she needs his help. Afterward, she leaves him and goes back to confront Wells. This time, she manages to reach his location, enters, and finds his assistant standing beside him. She demands to know why he killed Stan. Wells responds, revealing that she will be killed as well. Maria gets angry and is about to attack him, but she's knocked unconscious. When she wakes up, she finds herself in the same white room she had been in before. The assistant tells her that he let her go the last time because he felt sorry for her, but this time, he has no choice but to kill her. Upon hearing this, she becomes enraged, manages to break free from her restraints, and takes him down. She then opens the door and takes out everyone standing in her way until she reaches Wells. Just as she's about to kill him, someone shoots Wells in the back. Shocked, Maria looks around to see who did it. She freezes when she realizes it's Stan. Confused about how he's still alive, she watches as he starts laughing and explains that everything happened exactly as he planned. This is when the whole truth is revealed. Stan knew everything about her from the start, and used her to eliminate Wells and his associates, so he could take over their empire. It also turns out that Stan was working with Dr. Marcus all along. When Maria learns the truth, she becomes furious and tries to kill Stan. However, the device she's wearing, given to her by Dr. Marcus, prevents her from acting. She tries every way possible to grab a gun and shoot him, but the gun is empty. Despite this, she overcomes the device, removes it, and takes down Stan. She throws the bomb she had taken earlier into the room, causing an explosion that finishes off Stan and everyone with him. Maria then goes to confront Marcus, telling him she knows the truth now and that she's here to end him. However, Marco and Officer Amy arrive just in time to stop her. They convince her that Marcus will be arrested anyway, as he has been practicing medicine without a license and is involved in many illegal activities. Maria agrees and leaves, but she has injuries from the fight at Wells' location and ends up in the hospital. While she's recovering, Marco and Amy visit her and tell her that she needs to cooperate with the police after she gets discharged. They explain that the charges against her are minor, like assaulting them, and they'll testify that it was unintentional. After Amy leaves, Marco stays with Maria and confesses that he's admired her since the first time he met her. He even asks her to go out with him on a date, and she agrees. Once Maria gets out of the hospital and returns to her apartment. She finds a strange woman inside. The woman introduces herself as someone from an intelligence agency and tells Maria that she's needed for a new dangerous mission. And with that, our movie ends today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you did.